Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Ten little known secrets to explode your business with high ticket leads in the next 90 days. And you can do this for as little as 80 cents a pop, even if no one has ever heard of you. I want you after this podcast to discover the step-by-step framework that we actually use to flood your sales pipeline with highly qualified leads, even if you're starting from nothing. You know, as a business owner or coach or consultant, I know one thing for sure, that growing a business is tough business. You know, from cold calling potential clients and having them hang up in your face or sending out hundreds of emails without even getting so much of a, hey, thanks for reaching out. And you go about wasting thousands and thousands of dollars on ad spend without generating any qualified leads. And sometimes you feel like no one actually wants to buy what you're selling. And you, obviously, if you're relying on your business as if this is now your own source of income, the means of which you're surviving and maybe paying rent and putting food on your table, it can actually put an enormous strain on your emotions, on your confidence, and just about you being a person, because you can't keep going and telling your friends, oh yeah, I'm running a business. While we're here, could you spare me a couple of thousands? I just have this one thing, this one idea. If I do it this time, it's gonna work. And you contemplate returning back to that safe 9-to-5 job, obviously with your tail tucked between your legs, and because you can't bring in clients. Well, not on my watch. Not if you are connected to Prosper and we're helping you create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I want you, after listening to this podcast, to discover the dirty little secrets no other marketing agency will tell you about growing your coaching or consulting business, just simply because they don't know you like I do. They don't understand what it is to start from the bottom. They don't understand why being your own sole provider is the hardest thing, but the most rewarding thing for you to ever come your way. Because obviously, as the founder of a thriving and successful digital agency, where we actually help other coaches and consultants explode in growth using digital marketing strategies, and we can actually safely bring you towards the $2 million valuation for your business. And you might be wondering why this is particularly important to me, because I'm passionate about helping coaches, consultants, and small business owners actually grow their business, because I know what it's like to come from nothing. Right. And I know that coaches have access to people that they can actually help. So it is my small way of actually contributing and giving back to the world. You see, I was born in a small town in Zimbabwe, and that's in Africa, if you haven't picked that up yet. And growing up, life was pretty tough. I didn't have a lot of money or hope that would actually amount to anything. We didn't even have any role models or anybody that we could look up to, just simply because of the way the situation in Zimbabwe was at that time. So we actually had no one that could inspire us, or somebody who could come in like a coach and expand our horizons. So my way of coming back to you is definitely coming to give you this advice and information and knowledge so that you too can do and have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. Now, you might be wondering why, why is this so particularly important? Because my life changed when a bright eyed Australian teacher came to work at my school. I think I was about 13 years old, and she was the first foreign person that I've ever seen who had not grown up in our area, who didn't look anything like us. And the values and information that she bestowed on me later on became the the yardstick and the anchor that I used, for you to be actually listening to me right now. And she told me about Australia and the incredible opportunities that it had to offer. And she actually taught me that there was a whole other world outside of my small town. A world with infinite possibilities for people who actually dreamed big and had the courage to follow their dreams. And for the rest of my time in school, I worked my butt off so I could learn as much as I could. And then a few years later, that was in 2021, I jumped on a plane onto Melbourne, and I had nothing but a backpack full of hopes and dreams for the future. All right. And I'm not going to lie, it was tough at first. I was so far from family and friends. I struggled to find regular work and actually struggled to pay bills. And, I was actually even evicted from my apartment in Richmond, where I used to live here in Melbourne. And obviously, I was at my lowest point, but I never gave up. I was literally living in a city that's the size of a box and nobody knew who I was. I was literally living the worst life in the most livable city in the world at that time. And what kept me going, and what was my lighthouse, so to say, was I remembered the advice that my Australian teacher gave me. And it went along the lines of, as long as you're willing to work hard, there's always hope. And that just kept me going. So I knew I would succeed. That was one thing for sure, because obviously if you're all the way at the bottom, the only way is up. And I just had to roll up my sleeve and take my opportunity when it presented itself. You see, I didn't have much of a big break like what other people had, but it was all chance opportunities that I saw along my way. And you can only connect the dots looking backwards. You cannot look at them looking forward. What I call my break was, I had a chance modeling gig that was set up by one of my roommates because they were looking for somebody who was different looking. And at that time, I had long hair. So obviously that presented an opportunity for me to jump on. And from then on, I saw that as a lucrative avenue for me to actually start meeting new people. So every weekend I would show up for this photographer, and he would take photos with me, and he started incorporating other people just so that it's not boring pictures of just me. And after that, I actually went on to become one of the most recognized faces in the Melbourne modeling scene. Like, I've actually worked for M.E.D.I.A and David Johns. For those in Australia, you would understand these very esteemed brands. And before I knew it, I was actually brushing shoulders with some of the A-listers and celebrities at some VIP parties, only because I took information that I knew at that time was gonna change the course of my life. Okay, so at the end of the day, what I'm about to tell you and what I'm about to show you is all been passion and discovered while on my journey, which obviously I just threw myself in a line of work and just kept on reading everything on digital marketing that I got my hands on, and that then now created the force, which is now Live Long Digital. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because I know you deserve a life of freedom. You also deserve to do and have a business that's profitable and enjoyable, and you need to continuously grow your income. And you're probably listening to this podcast just for the same reasons that I'm telling it. Not only am I telling you my story for the last 5 or so minutes, but it's also because I've now developed this powerful and innate desire to actually turn anyone's vision into reality. and have them experience greater freedom and life. And because obviously you really want to figure out how to hack this whole online business thing would actually make you successful, because if you look at the last couple of years, COVID has made it very non-negotiable for people to jump online. And obviously if you really want to have a business that's profitable and enjoyable, you're gonna have to definitely roll up your sleeves and learn all you can for you to present your work and your offers online so you can be successful. And by success here, I'm meaning success in your own definition and measures of how you want to define it. So, from 2011, like I mentioned, it's been 10 years now. And in my 10 years as an entrepreneur, the methods that you have in your hands right now, in terms of this podcast as a whole, which I ask you to subscribe to anyway, because what I do is every single day, if I read something, I try and regurgitate that information, to my audience. That way, one, I have an idea that I've understood what I've read, and two, I just want to give value. So it now becomes an amplifier and a shortcut for you, because you don't have to read all the books that I'm reading every single day. And knowing that this is provided to you on a daily basis, it becomes an amplifier and a guaranteed platform for your success, your freedom, your abundance and impact. And this is the best that I've ever seen. I mean, there are people that are putting out podcasts out there, but it's not as raw and as heartfelt as I believe the online prosperity experience is. And the people that we've worked with have reliably grown so many of their businesses that we've actually learned so much in the time that we've been running this business. And I've actually lost count of how many people we've worked with, but I know it's way over 450, based on the numbers that we keep tabs on. And because of that, I also believe that sharing these ideas that we've learned over the course of the 10 years with business owners like yourself, through this podcast, will actually then satisfy that innate desire that I mentioned. And I'm hopeful that it also helps satisfy yours, if you actually make a serious commitment. So I urge you to subscribe to our podcast, so you too can have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. So let's get down to business. Life has been crazy, hasn't it? I mean, crazy COVID, crazy governments, millionaires being made overnight, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos all going to space, and one of the hardest times ever in this sort of environment. And it takes really smart operators like yourself to actually gain an edge so you can actually start scaling your business to the next level. Now, as a coach or consultant, or maybe a service business owner that's listening to this, it has become much more difficult than ever for you to actually stand out in the crowd of Me Too people, simply because everyone who's got a laptop, a pair of sweatpants, and a vest can call themselves an online entrepreneur. So your question might be, how do I attract new leads on a regular basis? And how do I turn these leads into paying customers? And how do I then get maximum bang for my advertising buck? That means that depends if you're actually paying for advertising right now. And let me tell you something. These questions can be difficult to answer, especially if you're not maybe tech savvy or have a team that can help you behind the scenes like I've managed to create. And I'm excited to actually contribute to you in succeeding in this entirely new life. And I'm excited that you also have the potential inside of you to have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And this can be done in the next 90 days. And, something truly great and important and valuable to yourself and others that you are serving in the world as a whole. So that's why I say that it is very, very important for me to pass on this information to you, just simply because if you go out there, you're going to be able to help others be, do, and have a happier existence. Okay. So one thing that you need to do is to create something that people want. Right? Whatever you're selling, whatever programs that you're pushing out there, create something that people want. You know why? Because people have limited time and money. Therefore, they've got zero patience for people that are out there just trying to peddle anything that's not going to help them solve their problems. They're not going to give either time, money, or effort to, because these things are precious. Time, yes, you can make some more, but money, you can make some more, but time, once it's gone, it's gone. So these are precious commodities that unless you provide them with something they really want in exchange, that's why maybe they're not listening or looking at your offers. And when I say, what they really want, you know what I mean? I mean something they absolutely crave, something that they cannot get anywhere else, and something that actually solves a problem that they have, something that scratches their itch. So if you want people to stop what they're doing and pay attention to you, whether it's either on Facebook ads or on your website or even on, when they're walking past your office, if you're open, you need to offer something that hooks them by the line. And how do you do that? You want to answer one simple question, which is going on in their head right now. Why should I care? Your customer is always asking, why should I care? What's in it for me? All right? Because people don't respond to marketing that doesn't, that's not directed at them. All right? So they're asking, why should I care about you or your service? Why should I care about your new innovation? Why should I care about your new website? Why should I care about your Facebook posts and not that of your competitors? Why should I care about the time and money that you've invested in your fancy website? Why? And if you're not answering that question for them, then obviously they're not going to get to know, like, and trust you. And people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. So in essence, your service has to be something that people actually want, not just something that you think is good or that they'd rather have. And if you don't have that in this day and age, then it's going to be grand opening, grand closing. All right? Because nobody's going to try and hope, that you will get it right, or you will pretty much figure it out and use them as a guinea pig. No one has got time for that. Okay? So basically, your premise as a coach or consultant is to really discover and figure out what product are you putting out there and how does it compare to others who are peddling a similar product as you are in the marketplace then. All right? Because I really want to save you time in order for you to actually go straight to the crux of actually winning business online. Not everyone is your customer. So if you've figured out and if you've identified your target market, which is basically the right kind of people with the right kind of pain, the easiest thing you can actually do is find products for your customers. All right? You need to find products for your customers. So because we've mentioned people have limited time and money, and they're never just going to listen to you just because you've created a product, you definitely need to know exactly why anybody should care about your service and why anyone should pay attention to you. Let me just inspire you to let you know the depth of which you need to have an understanding of what you need to create, because I viscerally believe and know this is what it is that you are probably going through in your in your life or in your business or in anything that you are going through right now. Okay, because one thing that I know is you've probably spent time with somebody who purported or says or thinks they are a digital marketer, and they've done nothing but waste your time. And I know right now what you want to do is just find the easiest way for you to actually start generating business. Okay, or you might be one of those coaches or consultants who is spending most of their days working isolated by yourself on a computer in a very dark room, because the sight of light is just gonna is just gonna ruin your eyes because you've been up all night, or you spend the last moments on your pillow at night worried about how you're gonna get clients, or you're starting to feel the pinch of rising ad costs, and you're probably worried about when the next lockdown is gonna be. Or you're worried about losing all your clients because maybe everything is just going to get shut in front of you, and you're figuring out how do you actually chase potential clients and asking them if they've read your proposal yet or not. Should I keep going? Because I have intricate knowledge of who my audience is and what they're going through, and the reason why they would take their time to research information that we provide. So if I know their needs before they ask, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to present it in form of this podcast or in form of other information, which will then allow me to position myself as an expert. Because if I can show them that I can help them by actually helping them, guess what? When they actually now have the time, money, and effort, they would actually come to me so that I can help them with their services. Okay? So if you want to understand what to create for your audience, you have to understand where they're coming from. You have to understand that, let me give you something, right? You right now want this to happen in your business. You probably want there to be an easier way or a better way to reach your audience. You want to have the benefits of a monthly recurring cash flow, and it doesn't require you staying up all night in order for that to happen. You obviously want actual time and freedom together, not either or. You want both at the same time, so that you can go out and actually spend time with your loved ones. And, you want that every client that you speak to is already pre-sold before you even got to the phone with you. Okay, and you want that your entire financial livelihood does not have to depend on the mighty Google or Facebook. You probably want to have created your own domain or properties online where people can find you. Was I correct? Yeah? Are you still asking yourself, why should I care to listen to this guy's podcast? Because I know what you're going through right now. So if anything, subscribe to this podcast. Take a listen. I'm learning as I'm going, so I'm not going to come across as a guru or somebody that purports to know everything. But what I know is all the information that we need is already out there. People like myself are just here to curate the best so that you don't have to go through a long learning curve, because it's taken me 6 years of time, money, and effort, and I wish that we could meet one day so you can see the vast array of books that are just behind me, which I'm constantly, referring to and learning. So this is not just me talking into a microphone and hoping that somebody's listening. I really want you to create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I really want you to be successful in your endeavor, and I really want to save you time, so that you too can do and have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. So this is how it actually works with me. I want you to start attracting highly qualified leads who want what you've got in pretty much less than an hour a week of work, without you having to write a single ad or pray to the Google gods so that your website is ranking. Okay, so the first thing that you could do is browse around our websites and find if you can claim a free 30-minute business breakthrough call. Now, when you claim this call, it is no obligation, all right? I literally sit down, look at your business, and we'll go over your current situation and just discuss what your business goals are. And then I'll give you a really detailed marketing roadmap that actually outlines the exact steps that you can take to explode your sales in the next 90 days. Let me tell you something. There no longer is money in information. We make our money through implementation. So if I've shown you that roadmap and you're happy to get us to implement that within your business so that you start receiving leads within 90 days, I and my experienced team of all stars would actually start working on your business. Okay. So if you like what we've outlined so far, you can then literally hire us. And, me and my expert team here at Live Long Digital, so we can implement the powerful marketing strategy that we would have given you, because we can't just give you stuff that we are not using ourselves as well. And from then on, I can only guarantee that if you're already making money within your business, you can literally go from where you are to about $2 million inside of 2 years. Okay. The reason why we know this is possible is because we've done this for our clients. We've done this, for other people. And, our method actually works. And me speaking on this podcast right now is proof positive that all I have to do within my business is create content like this, and the rest happens like clockwork. But let me tell you something. I usually just have maybe 2 places remaining from, when I do a call out like this. Because if you don't claim a 30-minute business breakthrough so that we can actually start exploding your sales in the next 90 days, obviously you might be missing out. I know right now you're struggling to generate sales, and you've heard how I've created this information, and maybe you're ready for consultation, but you're not that convinced. Just jump onto our website, look at our testimonials and reviews, and pick up the phone and call any of them. I give you that go ahead, And once you are ready for the consultation, it will be much, much, much easier for you to actually have a clear idea of how we can work together. Okay. So the people that we kind of work with, coaches, consultants, and small business owners. And we can't work with e-commerce stores because obviously you gotta sell thousands and thousands of products in order for you to see the return of your investment there. So I'm sorry, we can't help you there, but I'm serious that there will be a few limited places available, because we're already giving this opportunity first come, first serve to our client list. Okay. So if you really want your business service to reach 7 figures and revenue more, and don't waste another second, book a free consultation now. And I want you to discover how you can actually scale your small business from 200K to 2 million inside of 2 years. I can't wait to celebrate your success, when you actually do have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au